April is here, and so is April's first episode of Eater's Digest. With me, as always, is Willow North. Willow, I feel like today is going to be a banter-heavy episode. I have a whole lot of stuff to talk about before we even get into the headlines, so I'll put a timestamp in the description. But first of all, I tried the Dr. Death beverage, and it's the singular worst beverage I've had maybe in my life.
No, it was really that bad, huh?
I was so excited, and I even checked out, and it was like $7 for a six-pack, and I was like, why not? This is my industry, and I make money doing it. Why can't I enjoy a $7 six-pack of soda? And it is a soda. It's labeled as a, flavored sparkling water? It's soda, and it's sweetened with 2 grams of sugar from agave nectar, but the last ingredient is stevia extract. Did you know that? That it's like a full sweetness 2-gram sugar soda?
I think that it's like that with all of the flavored Liquid Death flavors. I've only had the mango one, and I do remember it being very lightly sweetened.
I went to Rubio's this weekend and they had Liquid Death tall can flavors, and I picked it up and looked to make sure there's no stevia. And no, you're not right on this one. It's 2 grams
Oh.
of sugar from agave nectar on those, so it's lightly sweetened. But on the Dr. Death, like root beer cola ones, it's full sweetness from stevia on top of that.
That's interesting. So they're really trying to drive home that soda flavor by adding that extra sweetness. Sounds like it's maybe not doing as much heavy lifting as they thought.
Well, just call it a diet soda. Like, I was interested in a sparkling water seltzer experience, not a diet soda experience. And I don't know if you're familiar with Zevia, the old school, like, stevia soda from Sprouts and Whole Foods. I hate Zevia. I think it's terrible. And so this is like just a worse Zevia.
I'm really disappointed to hear that. If I see the Diet Coke flavor, I may still try it out of curiosity, but I am very disappointed to hear this.
Yeah, I would truly rather have like a Dr. Pepper Zero or just like any zero sugar soda from a big brand. And now I have like 4 of them in my fridge and I can't pawn them off on anybody because when somebody comes over, I'm like, do you want a Dr. Death? They're like, no, thank you. Second story from my personal life is I was on the phone with a buddy and he gets an email that concerns him and he says, oh my gosh, the protein bars that I ordered from Amazon, they just emailed me saying that there's a recall. And he was all worried. And I said, let me guess, undeclared milk. He goes, undeclared milk. It's like, wow, Eater's Digest making me look smart.
Wow, that's so funny. Do you remember what the brand was at all?
No. So anybody who bought them from Amazon at least gets an email that they should be not eating them. But, he's going to eat them anyway. I would eat them too. I'm not worried about undeclared milk. He was worried that there was some kind of infectious thing going on in them.
Well, that's certainly better than, like, metal fragments or something in there. That is so funny to see that, really manifesting in your real life. The undeclared milk is coming for everything.
Even worse, there was a moment where a bunch of the coconut waters in those like folded cardboard Tetra packs were getting recalled because air was able to get in. And so when you drink it, there's like a big glob of like blue algae mold. It was like phlegmy, disgusting. The photos were disgusting. If you find it, look it up. But content warning, it's like people violently puking. Somebody that I know drinks coconut water every day. And I saw her and I was like, hey, just so you know, there's a recall on some of those Tetra packs. And she was very worried and didn't take it as lightly as I meant for it to be taken. So there's the yin and the yang of having so much food knowledge.
Well, I will take the undeclared milk over the gross blob in the bottom of my coconut water any day.
Well, I've got tons of other personal stories. I'm eating lunch at my desk at 11 a.m. because I don't have any help watching the baby today, and I've got to make a big video post tomorrow. But this is a news show, so please lead us into what actually matters.
Solo dining reservations have gone up 64% since 2019, yet solo diners still face discomfort, stigma, and subpar service due to societal perceptions and restaurant practices. Many restaurants prioritize larger groups because solo diners are seen as less profitable, as they occupy tables for the same duration but spend less. This, combined with the economic pressure of tight margins and rising food costs, often leads solo diners being overlooked and given inferior service.
So first things first, before we get into this, how often do you dine alone? Because for me, it's like a once every 6 months at max experience.
Absolutely never. I mean, unless, we're counting like somewhere where I'm ordering at a counter and sitting down and not experiencing like full service, I would definitely say that I eat alone more in that sense, but never at somewhere that I am like being served.
I guess I'm biased in that I don't go out a lot to begin with, and when I do, it's because I'm forced by someone to, like, meet them out for a meal or go have fun, but, yeah, I don't see myself really going out for a meal at a restaurant by myself for pleasure, and any time that I do, my main concern is going to the bathroom. I'm a frequent bathroom break taker. I drink a ton of water. I feel like if I'm eating alone and I go to the bathroom, I get this immense anxiety that whoever, like, glances at my table is gonna be like, "Did that person just dine and dash?"
As a fellow anxious person, that does resonate with me. However, I doubt that anybody would really see that as suspicious unless you were really gone for a long period of time having like a 20-minute IBS sesh in the fine dining bathroom.
Well, I guess I also just don't really buy the angle that it's the establishment pressure that, like, restaurants don't want solo diners because a lot of times there's, like, accommodations for a solo diner, like sitting at the bar or something like that, or even just a two-top. You used to work in restaurants, so would you rather serve, like, a five-top or a solo diner? Because they're making this argument that, solo diners take up as much space and sit down for as long as possible. What's your take on that?
To start, I will say I have worked in several restaurants, never as a server, so I can't speak to that experience personally. And I do think that it is kind of a loaded question because without context, there are so many like small factors that can decide which would be kind of the worst customer. Obviously, from a purely tipping perspective, you will make more money off a five top than you would a solo diner. But I think that everybody going out to eat really deserves the same service. I think at the end of the day, a lot of people forget the core meaning of hospitality in the hospitality industry, and, I would give that same person the same attention that I would give that 5 top. Might I prefer one or the other depending on who those people seated are? Yes.
I never actually worked in a restaurant. That was my feeble attempt at trying to relate to people who do and seem in the know. It was always made clear to me that five diners was the worst number of diners to arrive at a restaurant because they don't fit at a four top, so they take up as much space as like a six or even eight top table. And is for the same argument that is being made for the solo diners, except they take up, I don't know about exponentially, but significantly more space for, I guess somebody who's good at math could tell me whether that theoretically pays out more than a solo diner. But as you can see me spiraling and failing to relate to anything in this story, I think it's time to move on to the next one, please.
Instacart has recently introduced three AI powered features: Smart Shop, Store View, and Second Store Check to further assist its users. These features are designed to help navigate dietary restrictions, keep an updated app inventory, and locate out of stock products at other stores, respectively. With the number of Instacart users nearly doubling in the last 2 years, these new features are designed to meet the growing demand for a more efficient grocery experience, though many users are skeptical of how efficient these AI features will actually be. So, do you use Instacart at all for grocery orders?
I had a credit card once, and maybe I still have it, that had an Instacart benefit, like a monthly credit, and I downloaded the app to try to get it. And I thought, even with the credit, this is so not worth it because the prices themselves are inflated, the fees are tremendous, and it just wasn't worth it for me to try Instacart. That being said, I shop at Kroger stores out here. It's called Fry's, and their delivery is powered by Instacart. So technically, yes, although since it's outside of the Instacart app experience, the prices are exactly the same. I don't have those extra fees. It's to me a pretty win-win system, and I really like the way that it works, and they keep improving it. So I'm quite happy with it. What about yourself?
I use grocery deliveries somewhat regularly, not for all of my grocery shopping, but for kind of like supplementary. And I kind of have the opposite experience as you. I have a lot of trouble with it. I don't know if it's just because I'm a vegetarian and sometimes I'm like asking for products that other people might not be looking for, whether that's, vital wheat gluten or tempeh crumbles and things like that. But I have had Instacart shoppers and even Instacart itself, like they have AI features already integrated into it where they will make like suggestions for other products. And I have had shoppers be suggested turkey burgers as a replacement for impossible meat or jalapenos as a replacement for sweet bell peppers and things like that. And I feel like if they can't get that down, they should not be adding three more AI features.
Well, one time a human replaced my radishes with beets because they're both red and round. So you get what you can. But I guess it might just have something to do with the Kroger integration and how they work together because it is so perfect the way that it works. Where before I check out, well, first of all, let's say I add cheddar cheese to my shopping list. It's from the Kroger store, so it tells both me and the shopper, like, which aisle and which bay it's located in. So sometimes I'll make an online shopping list and then still go in because at least now I know exactly where everything is. And when I add something to the cart, I can select, do I wanna let this person make a judgment call or do I wanna select a very specific replacement? And sometimes I do that if it's, like, a sale item where it's like BB Go dumplings are half off, and so I want the specific replacement to just be a different flavor of that brand. Then, if something goes wrong, like it's sold out and there's no replacements, I get a text from the person saying, "Here's a photo of the aisle. Do you want any of these or do you want me to cancel it?" Then, even on top of that, if something arrives and it's wrong, I can just go to like a Kroger.com or Fry's.com and it's like a 2-click process to be like, "Hey, this was wrong. Can I get a refund?" And they just give me a refund. So it's kind of a flawless system in my experience.
Wow, you are having a totally different experience than me. I have trouble getting refunds from Instacart. I have had people send me pictures of the aisles they're in looking for a product, like for a refrigerated product, and they send me a picture of the bread aisle and things like that. Maybe I'm just getting idiots out here, but I do like to think that this is like a funny way of Instacart trying to respond to the articles that I've seen in like the last 2 months about the male Instacart shopper problem. Have you seen anything about that?
Yeah, where they're just like really inept at finding where the groceries are located. That's it, right?
Yeah, and just people making very absurd substitutions, like you just said with the beets. I saw an article that said one woman had her ground beef replaced with a watermelon.
Yeah, I think all of your gripes are probably just to do with the fact that you're using the ordering platform itself, and like the fact that I'm able to use the fries integration is really flawless. But I remember getting an Uber credit for like 50% off groceries and thinking, well, this must be a really good deal. I'll try Uber groceries. And then it's the same thing where it's like, okay, let's see what H Mart has. And then there's no photos for any of the items. The items are listed as like red beef. And it's just like, what do you mean by that? The prices are just ridiculous. And then by the time you get to checkout, you're just like, well, this still really isn't worth it, even with 50% off. So I'm going to stick to the way I'm doing things. Companies can add as many AI features or pretend AI features as they want to keep shareholders happy, and I'm just going to keep on trucking until proven otherwise foolish. Keep listening. We'll be right back. Promotional consideration for Eater's Digest is furnished by Barkley. Barkley ceramic mugs, cups, and dinnerware is all made by hand in Tempe, Arizona. Visit dinnerwithbarkley.com to shop handmade pottery or look at Barkley's flagship apron. It's got long, durable straps, a split leg to be used in the kitchen or in the pottery studio, and the 5 different colors make it so that you can match them to your favorite outfits. The site to peep is dinnerwithbarkley.com.
Fitness coach Ashton Hall has gained attention for his over-the-top morning routine videos featuring Saratoga Springs water. In these videos, Hall not only drinks the luxury bottled water, but incorporates it into mundane tasks from brushing his teeth to dunking his face in it. His unusual routine and dedication to the brand have not only earned him millions of followers, memes, and a collab with Mr. Beast, it even led to a stock price increase for Saratoga Springs' parent company, sparking conversations about social media influence and the lengths people go to create unique, shareable content.
If conversations are not blazing about the power of social media by now, then it's too late to be sparking them. It's like the immediate reaction I had to this, which I already posted to Instagram, is like this one singular man has done more for the Saratoga brand than what I don't know how many years Saratoga has been sponsoring Top Chef now. But if you watch Bravo Top Chef, they've been sponsored by San Pellegrino for like I don't know how many years, at least a decade, and then they switched over to Saratoga, and so it's a big branding shift. If you watch the show, like, ooh, Saratoga, I got to try that one of these days, and their stock didn't jump at that, and yet one guy dunking his face in it does make, I think it was 17% the Monday of or the Monday after this tweet went viral. By the way, w- there's a pretty good chance that this meme is like dead and buried by the time this episode goes live, but the surrounding conversation around it is still pretty important. And I'm not just saying that because I love being right and reinforcing how right I am, because questioning sincerity and self-awareness and intent is exactly what I keep talking about with like the MD Foodie Boys and the Costco guys. I think this is going to keep on amplifying.
I definitely see what you're saying there about the foodie boys and the Costco guys. It does feel like there is maybe like an underlying level of self-awareness to this guy's videos. I scrolled very far back on his Instagram, and the first mention of or first appearance of the Saratoga Springs water bottle was in November of 2024. It made one appearance where he referenced his morning routine in the post, and then it did not appear again for a couple months until the middle of January or whatever. So, in some ways, I do think that this man is sincere. Like, I do think that he is drinking Saratoga Springs sparkling water or still water, I think it is in the videos actually.
Well, that's exactly what I think part of the fun is for a viewer is debating and trying to think about whether or not this person is serious or to what degree he is self-aware because he has these moments where they could be flubs or they could be like satire genius level moments where he like slips up and says something or like his reaction to a bunch of people copying the meme is for him to be like, "Man, all these people are stealing from me." And I think that calls into question like, okay, well, anyone with a brain understands that they're not stealing. Is he extremely dumb or is this rage bait because that does so well? And it's like, I'm not even going to speculate as to whether or not this person is self aware, but I do want to remark on how good of a job this particular person is doing. And I can only imagine how intense this is going to get as the growth continues at this rate.
Well, unlike you, I am very down to speculate. I genuinely think that this guy might know what he's doing about all of this. If I look at his Instagram, he's got like 10 million followers. He's already been very successful before this silly video blew up. Um, so he clearly knows what he's doing on social media. He is a fitness instructor turned like business coach, and so he coaches other fitness coaches on how to coach their clients and build their businesses. So, if his main business focus is teaching other people how to grow their brands, how to grow their social media, I might be convinced that this was very purposeful on his part. It does have that sort of pseudo sponsored content feel to it that I have seen in other less successful attempts online. And I think that he just got lucky and it blew up.
Yeah, just like how the MD Foodie Boys said that their last video was sponsored by Taco Bell and nobody really believes them. I think Saratoga water was a perfect choice for like luxury water, especially because so many other waters have like a connotation where it's like, oh, this one's neutral pH or like acidic or whatever. Like there's connotations like, okay, this one's for healthy people and this one's Evian. It's for, oh, it might be too French or I don't know. Saratoga is just like the perfect water where it's just like, not too expensive. I think you can get it now for like $1.50 in the plastic bottle. They come in sparkling and still and glass and plastic. And it's kind of just like the perfect thing if you wanted to buy like 50 of a product to show one's wealth is like a slightly unknown, unpopular yet luxurious looking sparkling water. And now you're making it seem as though I am glazing this guy for being such a smart genius. And that's my cue that we're done with this story.
So I have a couple interesting products for you this week. I have Orca Energy Water, Co's Oats by Cody Co, and Frida breast milk flavored ice cream.
Okay, Orca energy water I want to spend like zero time on because you could just put caffeine powder in water. There's no pleasure. At this point, you are a pleasureless corporate machine or like cog in the machine. Don't you agree?
I would be right there with you too. I mean, like taking all of the pleasure out of a fruity energy drink or a nice strong cup of coffee. But at the same time, we've already had caffeinated seltzers. Have you ever heard of Bubbly Bounce?
Oh, yes, I have. Yes. But those are
Yeah.
flavored.
Yes, they are flavored. Well, so are these. These are flavored waters
That's
as
true.
well. It's like, and they're weird flavors too. Like there's a mint one. I don't know who wants mint sparkling water. That's beside the point. Um, but the bubbly bounce, I thought those were good. They tasted like a regular sparkling water. They had only a little bit of caffeine, like 30 milligrams or something, as opposed to like an energy drink amount. So you could drink a couple of them over the course of your day and kind of sustain yourself. They were very good, but they flopped and you can't get them anymore. So if that didn't work, I don't know any reason why a more expensive, worse flavored one would then be popular.
Well, I disagree with you on that one because more expensive and less flavorful or less delicious is like perfect for a disgusting like freak beverage like this where you want it to be like functional. It's like, yes, I punish myself for my work. Like if I found out my wife drinks 10 white monsters every morning, I'd be like, oh honey, calm down. But if I found out that she was drinking these, I'd be like, we're incompatible people. I don't understand. Like,
It's
that's
that
not.
big a difference.
She doesn't watch this show, but her mother does. So don't tell her I said that. Um, the Co's Oats by Cody Co. I was totally not aware of this, and like my heart sank when you brought it up. I don't know how in tune you are with like YouTuber drama, and I hesitate to call it drama anyway because it's like borderline a crime that has taken place. Are you aware with all of this backstory?
Yes, I am. I don't want to touch on that too much because I think there's been lots of content out there about that.
Right.
I'm just gonna say we all know what you did, Cody.
Allegedly,
And
please don't get this.
allegedly,
Don't
allegedly,
get this
we
show
all
taken down and sued.
allegedly know what you did, Cody.
Uh,
But he's kind of given up posting on his main YouTube channel. He only posts content on his second channel, Cody and Co. And I I just think influencer oatmeal is the worst idea for a CPG product to pursue. Uh,
I
I
don't
think
think it's the worst idea, especially if like the only platform that you're active on is like a training platform about running. It makes sense. Like I would feel as though like a professional football player should be doing like oats. Like oats is such an underrepresented product. You have like Kodiak cake pancakes, and that's kind of the only like cool manly man breakfast packaging product. And I don't see a whole lot of like cool strongman athlete oats. And so I like the product, but I am like shocked by the idea that somebody can be like completely canceled and inactive and still launching product.
I don't know that I would call this like a manly man oat product the way you are. It has sort of childish designs. It doesn't have like a high protein anything to it like the Kodiak does. And when I pull up the Co's Oats pancakes and syrup flavor and I put it next to the nutritional information for the maple Quaker Oats instant oatmeal, it is almost identical. Cody's brand has nothing more to offer except that it is more expensive and has more sugar and less protein than the Quaker Oats. Um, I don't know. I just think oatmeal is a boring product idea, and the flavors are not that interesting to me. I think that this product is as lame as I think Cody Ko himself is.
Ooh, what a burn. I didn't mean to sound as though this product is like the Manly Man oatmeal, but I do think that there's a disparity there that is just waiting to be filled. I did look at the packaging for the product as well. I thought it was a little bit wishy-washy and not so sure of itself, especially because of like the watercolor-esque imagery on the front. Like it doesn't have that sort of like bold, yuppie branding that we've come to expect from products like this. And I feel as though are trying to do a lot of heavy lifting with the phrase like not your grandpa's oats in a script font right in the corner. And I'm just like, well, I don't think that's enough to convince somebody who's looking at a product that's got like fake watercolors on it because that's very grandpa style.
They are your grandpa's oats, though. When I put them next to the Quaker Oats, they are almost
No,
identical.
no, grandpa's watching his sugar. This is like your uncle's oats. Uh,
I don't like that. That sounds worse. My uncle's oats sounds way worse.
and yet potentially more fitting. The thing about Frida breast milk flavored ice cream is that Frida is a beloved brand in the baby product space, at least by me and like several people in my orbit. They're sort of like not quite the Apple of baby products, but like the nothing of baby products, who makes like nothing phones for like people who care. They look cool, they work well, they care about the quality, the branding is good. They have like they make so many things like the Frida Baby X. Like they make the perfect bathtub, convertible bathtub for babies. They make the thing that you stick into the nose and like suck out boogers with a little filter at the end. I believe they make one of those for gas as well. If you wanted to suck out the other end, I'm not trying to. I don't
Oh,
own that, but I either
no.
imagined that or it's real. But I do think my real gripe with this product is that they need to relabel it because right now it says breast milk ice cream. I think the label is cool. I think the product is fantastic. It's remarkable. It's not too offensive, to be honest. It's a dairy product masquerading as a different animal's dairy product. My problem comes from the idea that like there are people who earnestly wish for and consume breast milk derivative products for like IBS or nutrition or anything like that. And so just calling it breast milk ice cream might lead you to believe that you'll get the benefits of breast milk, like that it is ice cream made of human breast milk. Even though, you can make that argument about blueberries. It's like, well, they're not made out of blueberries, but I really feel as though they should have put the word flavored in there. Maybe that would have, detracted from its potential virality, but if I was in the boardroom while they were making that decision, I would throw the word flavored in there.
I would agree with you on that. I have only seen sort of like the front facing images of the packaging. It's certainly possible that it could say on there somewhere that it is just flavored and that I haven't seen that. All of the publications that I've seen talking about it have been very clear about the fact that it is breast milk flavored. And I think most people would assume that it is not actually made of breast milk, given the restrictions I think that there would be on a product like that. Um, I do think that this is interesting to see now because there have been companies that have tried to do actual breast milk ice cream in the past. I think there was a company in the UK in like 2010 or something called the Lictators that made a human breast milk based ice cream called Baby Gaga.
Jeez.
And yeah, exactly.
Stop saying sentences that have never been formed before.
Yeah, and if that sounds horrible coming out of my mouth to you, how horrified would you have been if I genuinely presented you with breast milk ice cream this week? I mean, come on.
I'd be ordering a pint as we speak. I hear what you mean to say about like, oh, consumers know better than to expect that. And I always hated getting a certain comment on my Confusing Groceries YouTube short series where it's just like, well, come on, idiots, just read the labels. Like, well, let's also be honest about what the product is when we name it. And I'm tilted just a little bit more in the favor of the people who don't pay attention to products just because of that damn Dr. Death soda where I got tricked into buying something that I thought was a flavored seltzer and is really just a diet soda. I will not let go of this. I hate it.
I think that is, we've come full circle here.
Have a good weekend, everybody. I won't be.
Oh, man.
Eater's Digest is published every Friday on YouTube, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. You can also get a text-based version delivered to your email every Friday at patreon.com/shack.